Welcome back to the Sky Files, Top Secret. This episode surrounds the science regarding the legendary Philadelphia experiment. This involved the U.S. Navy allegedly trying to make a naval destroyer, the USS Eldridge, disappear, and a survivor of the event described the bizarre and unfortunate consequences which unfolded. The descriptions of the results are so strange and unsettling that explanations have eluded us for decades. But what really happened? How did they go wrong? The Sky Files will attempt to answer that. From the Naval History and Heritage Command. Allegedly, in the fall of 1943, a U.S. Navy destroyer was made invisible and teleported from Philadelphia, Pennsylvania, to Norfolk, Virginia, in an incident known as the Philadelphia experiment. Records in the Archives branch of the Naval History and Heritage Command have been repeatedly searched, but no documents have been located which confirm the event or any interest by the Navy in attempting such an achievement. According to what is known, the experiment involved wrapping the Eldridge in steel cables and running high amounts of electricity through the hull of the ship in order to manipulate magnetic fields, which would be used to bend light around the ship. However, the story itself, which has been told and retold in the years since, spawning several movies and countless discussions, has always baffled those who have attempted to plumb its depths. The events which unfolded after this ill-fated experiment seem to have no rational scientific explanation. But is that really the case? The Sky Files offers an explanation. Consider the theory I have presented countless times, and which is prominently featured in the book Beneath the Haunted Sky, The Evidence for Alien Abduction, where I discuss the problems with relativity, our understanding of gravity, and its effect on space-time, and vice versa. While Mr. Allende, the sole survivor and witness to the experiment, had no way of knowing at the time, was that this was an enormous scientific error on the part of the military and of Einstein's relativity. Consider what was reported as the goal of the experiment, to hide the destroyer by means of bending light around the destroyer through the use of strong magnetic fields in order to camouflage it from the enemy. Consider what was reported as the goal of the experiment, to hide the destroyer by means of bending light around the destroyer through the use of strong magnetic fields in order to camouflage it from the enemy. According to Einstein, gravity bends light. This mistaken assertion was the basis for the entire experiment. This means that if the events are true, Albert Einstein has blood on his hands. This is where it all goes wrong. What I've been arguing, and appears to be proven through the Philadelphia experiment, is that to bend light, one must first bend space-time in order to do so. How does this controversial theory, offered by a rogue citizen scientist, explain the uncanny events which unfolded that day in the fall of 1943? Consider the events and compare them with Poole's spacetime theorem, a part of which states that bending light equals bending spacetime. Using magnetism to bend light around a metallic craft would, according to the theorem, instead be bending spacetime, which is detectable by light. Folding spacetime around an unpressurized and improperly degaussed craft would theoretically subject it to skip time and place, while the laws of spacetime stop briefly for anything touching the ship and causes things to merge in the split second in which they are placed out of this dimension. Men were described as fused with the ship in bizarre and disturbing ways, some dead, some still living and suffering in agony. And this is exactly what you would expect from unexpectedly leaving and popping back into your own dimension. Circumstances caused all touching matter to begin to fuse, but the effect was only for a moment. So the effect is fully seen, but not fully expressed. Mr. Allende surviving the experience to relay it is a miracle. The Einstein ring, which people keep claiming proves Einstein correct about gravity bending light, are repeating the same false notion of field theory, which caused this experiment to be a disaster. Light travels through the medium of space-time. What you visibly do to light, you are invisibly doing to space-time in order to see it. This is where Einstein went completely wrong. They specifically used Einstein's field theory to attempt this experiment. To this day, only one person has offered a solution to how this happened, and it is unrelated to the subject. I have fought for this revised theory of physics for years, and perhaps this shows you why it is so important to understand the fundamental forces which govern our universe before we start trying to manipulate them to our benefit. While I am decades too late to prevent the Philadelphia experiment, through understanding these concepts, we can prevent future ones. Synopsis. The cause of the Philadelphia experiment disaster was the accidental over-manipulation of space-time as the cause for this tragic event. Einstein could not correctly predict the results of this experiment, but I could have. I would have told them right off, to bend light, you will bend space-time to do it, and that will have unpredictable and possibly catastrophic effects. Poole's theorem is available in Beneath the Haunted Sky, the evidence for alien abduction on Amazon. This has been another edition of The Sky Files. Consider yourself informed.